news, gossip, celebrity interviews with limited knowledge and accuracy in sports and politics. And now, your host, celebrity publicist, Domenick Nati.
That's right, it's Friday, and it is time for the Domenick Nati Show on Intellectual Radio in Chicago and iHeartRadio. We are now friends with Russia. Donnie Dictator is bringing in his buddy, Vladimir Putin. So Thousand Island dressing is now at a reduced price. Yes, get your Russian dressing for half off. America and Russia are friends. Today's guest is a big one. Now, I don't even know if this is going to be new for you guys, but it might. Our guest today is Todd Chrisley of Chrisley Knows Best on the USA Network. So this interview got away from me probably as no other interview has before. You may have already seen it. People Magazine wrote about it, talked about it on their Facebook Live show. CNN wrote an article about it, and I was watching TV last week, and they used a clip of our interview. Because what I do is I put a little clip on there to do promo for this week's interview and this week's show. And E! News picked it up and put it on their TV show. So this was a big one. Todd Chrisley is married. He's got a show on USA, and he's got 3 to 5 kids. I can't remember how many it is. And I asked him because there's questions. A lot of people question if Todd Chrisley is straight or gay. Now, he obviously is straight, but that is what comes up when you Google his name. That's the first thing that comes up. So I asked him about it because that's what we do on this show. I asked the questions that people want to know. He answered it perfectly. I asked him a little bit about his tax evasion case and about the new season of Chrisley Knows Best, which is premiering on Monday or Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's been a long week. Bear with me. Tuesday. Premieres Tuesday on the USA Network. So I asked him if he was gay, and this got away from me. Got picked up by a lot of news outlets, and Huffington Post even wrote about it last week, or this week, this Sunday. So it is a good interview. It might be our best yet, and I don't say that every week like some people do. This could be one of our best interviews. That is who we're talking to today. So keep it here, and we will be right back with Todd Chrisley on the Domenick Nati Show.
Hi, this is Todd Chrisley, and you're listening to the Domenick Nati Show.
Do you have a business and are looking for a creative and effective way to market your product or services? Are you an entertainer or recording artist looking for a captive audience to display your talent to? The Domenick Nati Show is now offering on-air commercial advertising for as low as $50. Your product or talent will be presented by celebrity publicist Domenick Nati and be seen on our social media accounts and on iHeartRadio and select stations throughout the country. Send us a message on social media at Dom Nati Show or email DomenickNatiShow@gmail.com for more information. The Domenick Nati Show, maximum exposure, minimum censorship. You're listening to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio.
Okay, welcome back to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio in Chicago. I have been telling you all program about our special guest, and it is now time to speak with him. You guys know from the USA Network, Chrisley Knows Best. Todd Chrisley is on the phone with us. Todd, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Domenick. How are you?
Doing good. I am looking forward to a new season of Chrisley Knows Best. I know season 5 premieres February 21st on USA. What can we expect from the Chrisleys this season?
You know, I think you're going to see a lot of evolution in the family. You know, my kids are kind of becoming, or they are young adults. And, you know, parenting a young adult is much more difficult than parenting, you know, a teenager, believe it or not. But you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see my mother making some changes in her life. Julie and I are making some changes. You're going to see different businesses that we're doing, you know, different areas that all of us are going in, but yet coming back at the same table every evening to discuss kind of what our day was like, how each of us can help the other one. So I think that you'll see it's certainly still very family focused, but it's a family that's growing and pursuing their own interests, while at the same token, everyone jumping in there to help each other.
Oh, okay. So a little more teamwork and new business adventures, sounds like, too.
Well, teamwork makes the dream work. But now listen, that's not without drama. It's not without entitlement. It's not without, this is mine, and that's yours. It's still, well, it's my ball. If you don't play the way I want you to play, then I'm going to take it and go home. And as a parent, it's my job to make sure that I referee that.
Yes, and you do a great job. It's a lot of fun watching you do that.
Thank you.
A few weeks ago, Savannah was in a terrible car accident.
Yes.
Was she texting and driving, and has she made some life adjustments since the accident?
Savannah was not texting and driving, and listen, we can't control what people put on in social media. We can't control what people do in the press. But you know what? A tame story doesn't sell papers. So I stay on top of my children. I know what they do. I know what they do for the most part, Domenick. I don't know everything they do, and when I find out some of the things that they do, then they have to deal with me on that. But Savannah's phone is connected to our phone plan. Her last text message was to me at 48 minutes before she actually had an accident. She was not on the phone. She had went to bend down to pull the floor mat out from under the accelerator and the brake because it had rolled up, and she went to pull it out, and when she raised back up, she was heading towards the guardrail.
Oh, wow. And how did you find out about that? I mean, did the hospital call you, or?
No, a highway patrol. The highway patrol called us, and because I was the last in her phone, I was the last call that she had made, and so they called to tell me, and it was truly one of the worst calls that you'll ever receive as a parent.
Now, did they give you an update? Did they just say she's been in an accident and no further information, and this is where you need to come? Like, can they at least tell you that she's breathing?
He just said that, yes, this is Officer so-and-so with the Tennessee Department of Highway Patrol. I have I believe Savannah Chrisley. You're the last number that was called. It says Dad. I said, yes. And he said, she's been in a car accident and she's heading to, and they gave me the hospital's name and said, you need to go there now.
Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I'm glad she's okay. And it looks like you guys are back behind the wheel. But yeah, I can imagine
she's back behind the wheel.
Yeah. So what about Chloe? Will we be seeing your granddaughter Chloe this season, and do you still have full custody of her?
We do still have custody of Chloe. Chloe has never left our care, and our goal is to make sure that Chloe is a part of the show, and that is what we're working on at the moment.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll see her in season 5?
We are certainly hopeful of that.
Gotcha. Okay, now I wanted to ask you this. I know you have some fun with it, but when you Google Todd Chrisley, the first thing that pops up is Todd Chrisley gay? And I know that you obviously are not. Does that bother or disappoint you that people keep questioning this, even though you're happily married to your wife?
Well, in order for it to disappoint me would mean that I don't agree with someone being gay, because I don't believe that's a choice that you make. I believe that you are the way that God has made you. And so I'm flattered that people think I can get laid on both ends. So that doesn't bother me. And my wife certainly is flattered that as many men want her husband as there are women. So, with that being said, I'm never going to have a drought. You, on the other hand, might, but Todd will never have a drought.
Well, that's a great answer. So now you are, I know you talk about your faith in God. So are you what is your religion?
I'm Christian.
Okay. Christian, but you do believe that God creates people gay. Is that what you said?
No, that's not what I said. I believe that God creates us all equal, and that if you believe and service the same Lord that I do, and you follow the Scripture, then you will know that the Lord says, I created you in my likeness. So if he created you in his likeness, then he didn't make a mistake. So I don't believe that as a Christian and as a man of faith, the God I serve does not discriminate on the children that He made. So, I have a heart that I love everyone. I may not like what you do. I may not like what you say, but at the end of the day, you're still a child of God, and it is my job as your brother in Christ to lift you up.
Gotcha. But you think they're born that way? It's not a choice.
Sorry?
Did you say that it's not a choice?
I did.
Okay.
I
gotcha.
do. I believe that you're here. I believe you're here on this earth as God intended. In the Bible, He tells you that He knew you before you were conceived. So if He knew you before you were conceived, then that means He knew what you were going to become.
Okay. Yeah, but a lot of conservative Christians, right? They don't agree with that, right? That's usually.
Well, but at the end of the day, I think that we as Christians have given ourselves a bad reputation. The Bible tells you to lift your brother up when he's down, not kick him. So it is my job to lift my brother and sister up in Christ and not to drag them down. So therefore, I don't engage in idle chatter. I don't discuss what goes on in someone's bedroom, because you know what? If it's a sin, they don't have to atone for that sin to me. They have to atone to it for Christ when they need it. The Bible tells you to judge not, lest ye be judged. And so if I'm judging you, then I'm committing the same sin that you're casting off on someone else. No sin is greater than the next. So I'm not passing judgment on anyone.
Oh, wow. That is very well said. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Another thing I'd like to clear up is a news report came out recently that accused you of listing yourself as a resident of Georgia, but claimed you never filed income taxes for the state. Are these allegations true, or are they just misinformed?
First of all, don't you think as a member of the press, how would you have a copy of what I file?
Is it public or no? Is it not?
No, your income taxes are not public.
Right.
Your income taxes are not public records, and the income taxes are not public. If that's the case, the President of the United States, everybody wouldn't be bitching about him not turning his over. I have been a Florida resident over 15 years, so my taxes have always been filed. And if I don't make money in Georgia, I don't pay taxes on it in Georgia. So I'm not worried about some offbeat reporter trying to attach her name to my name in order for her to have a name.
You're awesome. Great answer. Thank you. I appreciate you. That does make a lot of sense. If you're not making money, that's absolutely correct.
And obviously the federal government likes my tax returns because I've paid $750,000 to $1 million just about every year. So the federal government doesn't have a problem with my taxes. So certainly some offbeat reporter who makes about $35,000 a year and has a bad job would not have access to my personal taxes.
Oh my God.
Hey, Domenick, can we keep all the rest of the questions show focused like you said to me on the email?
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, we have a new president in office. I know. And what are your thoughts on Donald Trump?
I just scratch a better head of hair than what he does. I just scratch my head sometimes at some of the things that he says.
Let me ask you too about your children, right? So obviously the show is very successful. So, and in these shows, they do, there's obviously spinoffs that happen. I mean, are you encouraging your children to stay in the world of reality TV, regardless of, if Chrisley Knows Best is still successful? I mean, is that something that you want for your children for as long as they can?
I want my children to pursue whatever it is that makes them happy and makes them feel good about getting up every day of their life. So right now, the show does that for them. But they are also moving in different directions with branding and with other, with other business ventures that are building their life outside of television. And that has always been our goal. We want our children to be properly educated. We want them to have a career path that will sustain them throughout their life and will support their family.
Gotcha. Now, what about music? I know that you had the Christmas album. Is that something? Do the Chrisleys want to put out more music or get more involved in the future?
I am going to be releasing another single in 2017. I released the single with Sarah Evans, Infinite Love. It went to number 8 on iTunes charts and number 23 on the Billboard charts. We did the Christmas album, which did extremely well. Certainly music is something that our entire family loves, and it's something that I will continue to do as a passion that I have. But am I looking to turn it into a career? Absolutely not.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. And then, as far as, other, when you walk into Walmart and you see Duck Dynasty, everything, I mean, are you guys looking to get into some more of, just anything, Chrisley mugs? And I noticed the calendar on the website. Is that something that is it wherever the demand is, or is there just areas that you rather not focus on? We certainly plan to continue to build the brand and to expand on it and to have multiple items out there. We're also, while at the same token and at the same time, we're also building our personal brand. So you're going to see a lot of things that are attached to the Chrisley name over the next 2 years. In the business ventures that you mentioned for season 5, is there any hints that you can give us? Are they all new business ventures that people wouldn't expect? Is there any hints that you could give us without giving it away?
Everyone knows that, our family loves fashion. So you're going to see Savannah with, launching her clothing line that's going to come out with Home Shopping Network this summer. And so you'll see that, and we kind of take you through that process of what we've had to do in order to develop this brand for Savannah and how hard of a worker she truly is. It's easy for people to look at my children and say that they're from that they come from a life of affluence and they're spoiled and they're entitled. There's a certain element of truth to all of that, but that's in every family. But my children are very hard workers, and I think that you will see some of that in this season.
Okay. So the kids are old enough, obviously, and becoming successful enough where we'll be following their business ventures more this season than any other season. Does that sound right? Or
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. So the Chrisleys, regardless of all these negative press that you got, the Chrisleys are in a good place financially.
We don't work for free, Domenick.
Yeah.
And we don't bring in the numbers that we bring in and not be compensated fairly.
Gotcha. So don't believe.
If you will notice the article said I didn't file taxes in 2000 in Georgia. So in order for her to say that shit, then she'd obviously know that I'm making money. So financially, the Chrisleys are fine.
Gotcha. I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying that. And then let me ask you, just where's the best place for all the Chrisleys and specifically Todd Chrisley fans? Like, where's the best place for people to keep up with you? If you want to plug your social media, then let me know which one is more your favorite.
I am very active on all of my platforms. I'm very active on on Twitter at Todd Chrisley, on Instagram at Todd Chrisley, and Todd Chrisley with the blue check mark on Facebook.
Okay, so just all of them. If people wanted to actually interact with you, there's not one more than the other. You check them all.
I respond to all of them. So when you get a response from one of my social media feeds, it's me responding.
Oh, that is good. No assisted. That is Todd himself.
I control my own. I control what's coming out that my name is attached to.
Awesome. Todd, that is great. USA Network, Season 5, Chrisley Knows Best, February 21st. This is going to be the best season yet. You don't want to miss it. And Todd, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Domenick. Have a great day.
Hi, it's Tara Reid, and you're listening to the Domenick Nati Show.
Do you have a business and are looking for a creative and effective way to market your product or services? Are you an entertainer or recording artist looking for a captive audience to display your talent to? The Domenick Nati Show is now offering on-air commercial advertising for as low as $50. Your product or talent will be presented by celebrity publicist Domenick Nati and be seen on our social media accounts and on iHeartRadio and select stations throughout the country. Send us a message on social media at Dom Nati Show or email DomenickNatiShow@gmail.com for more information. The Domenick Nati Show. Maximum exposure, minimum censorship. We're back to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio.
And we're back. Domenick Nati Show, Intellectual Radio, iHeartRadio. Well, that was it. That is our juicy interview with Todd Chrisley. I thought it was great. I asked him some things. I might have gotten his nerves a little bit at the end, but I'm just trying to ask some questions that people want answered. I thought he was great. He's very nice. I'm looking forward. His show is super funny. I am a Yankee. I'm from New York. I don't always think these Southern shows are funny. The show is out of Georgia. Apparently, he's a Florida resident. That's what he told me. So he's very witty. You guys should check it out. I realize that we do not have a big Southern audience, but this show cracks me up. Todd Chrisley's super funny. He's a good dad. He's really funny. He's really witty. So check it out on the USA Network. And now you have the whole story from the Domenick Nati Show. Also, you can look it up. You can put in CNN, the Domenick Nati Show, E! News, People Magazine, Huffington Post. Check out all of the press this interview got because it was a really good one. It was a good interview, and I think that Todd liked. He went into a lot of detail, even about the tax evasion case. So that's what we like to do here. So check that out. Next week's guest, I've got a couple lined up here. We talked to Mama D from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and we talked to Ramona Singer from The Real Housewives of New York City. Both of those interviews are really good. We're probably going to air Mama D because I asked Mama D what she thinks of Trump's wall, and that was covered by BET this week. Her answer may shock you. Check that out. Come back next week, Fridays, 3 o'clock Eastern, the Domenick Nati Show. We'll see you next week.